Hello everybody, welcome to our first online class. I wanted to try sending you a screen recording from my computer as I speak to you. I'm going to go through and do what I would normally have done, which is show you a slideshow to sort of illustrate what we're going to be going over this week. First I want to run through the assignment. I won't read this out to you, but I wanted to just run through it quickly. We're going to go over how colors react when other colors are influencing it. Color really just doesn't exist on its own. It's always in an environment of other colors. And depending on that environment, you're going to get different effects on the same color. So like these general rules are pretty important. I left a typo in there. That's okay. This should say a dark color put next to a light one makes them both look more contrasted. So a lighter one will look lighter and a darker one will look darker. That's illustrated in some of the other points. If you wanted to make a color look warmer, you put a cool color next to it. Ditto, if you want to make a cool color look cooler, put a warm one next to it, and so on. You can go over these. The assignments are labeled here. You can ask me questions via email or via Blackboard. I'll provide my number as well via email, so you can reach out to me. We should have a few conversations going forward. So this first assignment will be to essentially do 10 of these on one sheet of paper, where each of the colors in the center here are the exact same color. And you can either paint the square on either side first and then mix up a color and put it in the center, or you can paint the center colors first. All the instructions are there. Again, I will answer any questions you have on that. The second assignment is to make a gradated pattern across a half sheet of your paper and then put at least 4 stripes down in different areas to see how that stripe of color reacts differently against this gradated pattern. Again, it's all labeled up here. I won't go too far into that. And then the third one will be a design of your own making that uses this concept. And I've put a whole bunch of examples here. I would say the most important sort of use of this is often in textiles, where maybe you only have a couple colors of thread or whatever you're using for textile, but you want to make it appear as lots of different things. So this sort of simultaneous contrast or color relationships are really, really important to understand and get used to. So I want to go through and do a little slideshow. I don't know if you guys remember this one, but this is like a meme about what color this center color dress was. Some people thought it looked white and gold, others blue and black. I'm actually curious who thought it looked white and gold versus blue or black. I think it was most people thought blue and black, but a good portion of people thought it was more like this one, the white and gold. But it is all about reading context and color, so it was actually a good illustration of the concept I'm trying to get across this week. This is a famous piece by Joseph Albers. He was an extremely influential color theorist and artist, and his homage to square, which is what this is called, he made maybe hundreds and hundreds of these, are all about color relationships. I put a link on to a website that explains like what he was all about, but essentially we're going to be doing some of his exercises from his famous color theory book, Interactions of Color, where he's trying to influence what one color will look like from the others. So he made, tons of these things. You'll see them all over museums. They really are all about the influence, the sort of the formal aspects of color, and also he was quite spiritual about what he thought color meant. So they all have particular meanings for him. This is Georgia O'Keeffe, another quite sophisticated user of color. I just wanted to show a few of her works. Normally I'd ask you guys questions to analyze them. Obviously it's impossible to do now. I will post this slideshow to probably on the course documents, and you can go through and look at some of these artists. But Georgia O'Keeffe is obviously a master of sort of controlling her palette, and ongoing through this class is about how much can you control your palette. Okay, this is someone I've shown before as well. This is Henri Matisse, and I'm showing a couple pieces of his because he used very bold colors, but in certain environments it didn't. He sort of makes it look normal, even though this room is totally red. There's something about his use that it seems appropriate. But every other color that isn't the red here is being influenced by the red. So it's like you don't even need the yellow lemon to be that yellow because it's so contrasted. Everything is so contrasted that he's bumped up all the relationships by dominating this this composition with red. Here's another famous piece of his. It's a portrait of his wife, I believe, and it's called The Green Stripe. That's what most people call it. It's actually a pretty modern lighting situation. If you look here, it's more natural colored, so it's like someone sitting by a window with artificial light on the inside. On the left here, you can see like a more artificial type light, and he was looking to make like a shadowed stripe down someone's face as if they were sitting not facing a window, but facing with the side of their face to a window. He was really interested in that lighting situation, which is sort of rare when you have a shadow running down the middle of your face. But he didn't want to make it like dark colored because it's a totally lit environment. So he understood that if you sort of set up some color relationships, this very, very light green can actually read as a shadow. So this is a very, very good example of using color relationships and sort of the sort of change from yellow to green to red to show as shadow. And I put it in black and white as well. You can see that the value is darker, but it's really the hue that is doing all the work there. And from our lesson last week, we're going to be building on sort of the meaning of value, hue, and saturation. So I want you guys to stay acquainted with those. Let's show another example here. This is another Matisse. He's just using full-on saturated color and very carefully deploying it to show the different volumes of the crazy hat and the face. So he's high saturation, wide range of hue, but he's using it in such a way that he can describe everything, pretty successfully and emotionally. And I showed this piece the other week, but I wanted to show it again. Because it's such a successful use of different saturation levels. You can actually see in black and white, it has different value levels and different saturation levels, but some things are more saturated but still the same value. So I just sort of wanted to make the point that as you mix colors, all three, hue, saturation, and value, will change, but they change in sort of unexpected ways, and you just need to get used to, when possible, individually manipulating either the hue, the value, or the saturation. So if you just mix two colors, they're all going to change. But what do you do if you want, a red to be, you want a red to be less saturated but keep the same value? Like, how do you pull that off so that it doesn't, say, recede? You want it to sit in the foreground, but you just don't want it to be as red. So you need to learn how to mix colors like that. Here's another famous artist who built his career on color relationships. This is Mark Rothko. He's from the abstract expressionist movement. He had a really good understanding of color mixing and relationships, like where to be subtle and where to be bold. I'll show a few of his. Okay, I posted a video about Van Gogh. I'd love you to watch that. It's terrific. Van Gogh really know when to make things sort of intense and when to make them peaceful. And this is based on a lot of blue and yellow, which is, those colors are fairly close. They're not exactly across the color wheel from each other. There are two primaries, and in between it, green. So you have this sort of harmonious color family in this painting. And contrast that with this one, which is based on green and red, which are complementary colors. That's to say, across the color wheel from each other. And it makes for a very clashing, unsettling painting. The video goes into how he deploys all these colors and the sickly color of the pool table, like against the red here of the wall, and how you can make these color combinations be, say, more peaceful and harmonious, closer to analogous colors, which I also posted about, and complementary colors, which tend to be more jarring, particularly red and green, which is among the most jarring color composition or color sort of families, color relationships that you can use. So definitely check out that video. It's very fun. I think it's 7 or 8 minutes, plenty easy. So this is the exercise we're going to be doing for our quote-unquote classwork. I want you to take one color and put it in 2 environments to see how much lighter this gray looks and how much darker this looks. Although it's the same as this gray, you can sort of bounce from one to the other, but it's about how the surrounding area changes it. So you need to be able to deploy that. Sometimes when you're making a painting, you don't actually want to fix a color because you like it really bold, say, but you need to make it look lighter. So you can put a dark right next to it without changing that color. You change its environment, and that's a way to sort of push and pull in a design or a painting. I have a bunch of examples here about how the same color can look totally different in different environments. How you can even sort of it'll work on both hue, value, and saturation. Like this looks much more red than it does here in this purple environment. The green is making it look more red. And the purple here, because purple has some red in it, is making this look much more brown. Again, this is very similar to the gradation assignment. That's assignment number 2, where this is the same color. It appears purple in a red context and red in a purple context. And you can see this whole design is made with just 3 colors. Ditto again here. And another example where you can see one color acting like 2. This was another color assignment. This relates more to assignment number 2, where I want you to sort of move between 2 colors in set steps. So how do you get from orange to blue? You want to mix up colors, and you notice that they lose their saturation quite quickly, and then in the middle they find a gray and then move to the other one. So I want to get you practicing how to make these colors in the middle here. You don't just want to mix this and this and blend it together. You want to mix up one like this, and one like this to get an even gradation, because there's just a million variations in between just these 2 colors. Here's a sample of the gray, where you can see the white acting much differently depending on what chunk of gray it's near. Here's how saturation levels can make things look brighter. So this is simultaneous contrast with saturation, where this is basically all the same yellow but lowered saturation, and it makes this look very, very bright. So that is our last one. I'm just going to post this video, and I know you'll have a lot of questions, and we'll sort of work through this as we go along, but I just wanted to try this one recording and see if it's helpful at all, introduce you to some artists. I'll keep showing you artists as we go along, like Van Gogh, Rothko, Paul Klee, Henri, Matisse. And, we'll do our best. I'm going to give you guys my number in an email so that we can eventually have phone calls, but I wanted to see if this recording sort of thing would work. Hopefully, you guys can enjoy some painting. It's a good way to take a little bit of stress out of your day and set your mind on something really, really simple, like, mixing up pigment and placing it down.